My name is Victoria Brown. I have the honor of serving as Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy here at the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development in the Office of the Secretary. And I graduated from GSPP, the Goldman School of Public Policy, with my master's in public policy in 2011. And I am also a proud graduate of the PPIA program, Public Policy and International Affairs Fellowship. So HUD, the Department of Housing and Urban Development, has a broad mission to create sustainable and affordable homes for all. We provide subsidized housing for low-income households. So we have programs that focus on the elderly and those with disabilities. We have programs that allow households to get subsidized housing on the private market through the Housing Choice Voucher Program. And then we have subsidized housing like traditional public housing and privately owned subsidized housing through the project-based rental assistance program. But we also help first-time home buyers buy their homes through the Federal Housing Administration. As a Deputy Chief of Staff here in the Office of the Secretary, my role is to really be involved in a lot of the different policy development spaces we have in the federal government. And that happens within HUD through our program offices, who are constantly thinking about ways to improve and innovate on our programs, but also in collaboration with other agencies and with the White House. So any day in the life of a Deputy Chief of Staff is kind of can be a free-for-all in terms of what is urgent in that moment. But looking at the big picture, we're really trying to make sure we're balancing all of those different policy imperatives to continue to improve on our program and service delivery and execute on this administration's priorities and the priorities of our leadership. My Goldman education prepared me so well for this role. I got to do such a wide array of different coursework, and it was really wonderful for me at Berkeley to have access to the Department of Education's class, the education policy classes and the community planning classes. And I took classes at the law school and the business school while I was at GSPP. And that gives you such a well-rounded perspective when you're thinking about policymaking, because people are coming to policymaking from all of those different perspectives. And GSPP really prepares you to do the hard work of policy analysis to kind of find those best creative solutions for the problems that you confront day to day as a federal employee. And so for me, like the access to the richness of Berkeley's resources was really important. And then within GSPP, I think one of the greatest assets that I had in my education was really those practical applications of what we were learning in the classroom to real life problems through the 48-hour project, through the APAs and IPAs. We really got to test out our knowledge and apply it to real challenges. In my world today, as Deputy Chief of Staff, I feel like every moment is a 48-hour project. Every day I come in and there is a new fun challenge awaiting me, and tackling that with the perspective that GSPP prepared me to kind of step back, think about the problems, think about the resources I have access to kind of find the solution, and then move forward from there, I think has been just an immeasurable asset in my career. And I think back to that kind of time-limited, urgent policy problem that we were asked to work through multiple times in our GSPP education as a really great preparation for the career that I ended up having. Think about who you're going to be working for and part of your job search. I think as the folks who go to GSPP are so smart and driven and ambitious, and they have lots of ideas about how to change the world. And oftentimes we can look really specifically at like what type of work we're trying to do. But we also need to think about who we're going to be doing that work with each day. And I had really great mentors and champions early on in my career that really opened up opportunity for me. And I took a gamble on areas of policy that I wasn't familiar with, or that I hadn't really envisioned for myself previously, because I saw that connection with the people I would be working with each day. Certainly as I've gotten older, now I'm juggling small children and a hard job. And I see the value of having those ebbs and flows and thinking about kind of how you want your support network to look when you're moving through your career is so important to facilitate that with competence. I would say that for me, there has been no more fulfilling opportunity than to use my skills in the service of the American people. And the level of impact that you can have as a federal government employee is just immeasurable, right? I'm thinking about policies that can impact millions of families on a day-to-day basis. And I think that one of the biggest criticisms, right, that folks kind of offer up of federal government careers is the bureaucracy. But over the kind of difficult political landscape we've faced in the last several years, I've come to really appreciate the stability that bureaucracy can provide and the intentionality that we can bring as policymakers to creating that stability by implementing programs that are going to endure, that are going to last, and that are going to make really positive change in the lives of families and individuals who rely on our services.